written sitcom. That's exactly what went down. In the middle of a quiet hotel somewhere on a 5-game road trip, CP3, a man known for leadership, precision, and the sheer audacity to demand excellence, was told, without warning, explanation, or even a proper handshake, that he was being sent home. Yes, sent home. At 3 a.m. Eastern, in the middle of the night, his phone buzzed with the kind of news that should never exist in professional sports. And the orchestrator of this chaos? None other than Tai Lu. Calm, measured, collected? Sure, until you realize this was a move so cold, so calculated, it makes ice look like lava. The Clippers, a team already struggling to even remember what winning feels like, decided that the best way to handle their struggling roster was to publicly snub a legend. Chris Paul, the man who turned Lob City into an NBA phenomenon, who carried this franchise on his back year after year, suddenly found himself sidelined, not because of injury, not because of performance, but because apparently, leadership itself had become a crime. Fans were left scrolling through Instagram, jaws dropping, disbelief spreading faster than any fast break CP3 ever ran. No goodbye, no respect, no explanation, he posted, the words echoing through the NBA like a bomb. And make no mistake, this wasn't some miscommunication, a slip of management, or a playful PR stunt. This was real. This was calculated. This was the Clippers saying, without actually saying it, Chris Paul, your era here is over, now go figure it out yourself. The irony? Just weeks earlier, CP3 had signed a 1-year deal to come back home. His only goal? To finish his career with dignity, to retire as the player who elevated this franchise from afterthought to cultural powerhouse. He didn't need money, minutes, or headlines. He needed a proper goodbye, a moment to celebrate decades of dedication. Instead, he got silence. He got cold efficiency. He got sent packing at a time when the world was least awake to see it. A cruel spotlight on a narrative that was supposed to be heartwarming. And it gets juicier. This isn't the first time the Clippers organization has stumbled publicly. The roster has seen its share of drama, heartbreak, and chaos. Legends come and go, trades shock fans, and yet, somehow, the team survives. But this wasn't survival. This was a public display of dysfunction, a masterclass in how to turn respect for a Hall of Famer into a cautionary tale about mismanagement. If Blake Griffin's trade felt sudden, this is nuclear level. And don't even get me started on the optics. A farewell tour marketed as a celebration of a legend, transformed overnight into a story of neglect, disrespect, and confusion. Sources, some anonymous, some dripping with insider frustration, have already started spilling the tea. CP3's leadership, always praised for decades, had apparently become disruptive. He asked for meetings to realign the team, to get everyone on the same page. The answer? Denial, refusal, cold shoulders. And so, the Clippers, in one swift motion, turned their once celebrated floor general into a problem, a liability, a headline-generating moment of chaos. By now, the NBA universe is buzzing. Former teammates are whispering, reporters are digging, fans are questioning every decision the Clippers front office has ever made. And Chris Paul? He's left floating in basketball limbo, guaranteed contract in hand, legacy untarnished, but without a farewell, without closure, without the dignity he earned over nearly 2 decades. This is the start of a story that will unfold like a thriller. Every revelation, every insider whisper, every leak, real or imagined, paints a portrait of a franchise at odds with itself, of a legend sidelined not by talent or injury, but by arrogance, chaos, and an organization that forgot how to honor its own. And trust me, this is just the beginning. The story only gets darker from here. Chris Paul, the man who transformed the Clippers into a cultural movement, suddenly found himself navigating a locker room that had gone cold overnight. Reports from anonymous insiders, and I do mean insiders, suggest the tension wasn't new. It had been simmering for weeks. CP3's leadership, the same leadership that's earned him decades of respect, was now being labeled too intense or even disruptive. Yes, disruptive, because apparently holding a team accountable in the middle of a disastrous season is now a crime. Sources claim meetings were requested, conversations initiated, and yet, Ty Lue allegedly avoided them altogether. It wasn't just passive resistance, it was a refusal, a silent message that the old-school rules of respect and leadership no longer applied. Imagine being a veteran Hall of Famer, asking to realign a struggling team, only to have your request ignored. It's the kind of thing that would make any observer raise an eyebrow, or three. Meanwhile, the fan base exploded online. Memes circulated faster than a CP3 no-look pass, journalists speculated wildly, and former teammates shared cryptic statements. Some called it a leadership clash, others called it the Clippers' biggest PR disaster in decades. And let's not forget the management's role, or lack thereof. Front office sources hinted at confusion, disorganization, and even lavish spending on initiatives that barely touched the court. The contrast between CP3's dedication and the team's apparent chaos couldn't be starker. The optics were brutal. Here was a man who had signed a one-year deal purely to retire at home, whose career had been marketed as a farewell tour, and yet the franchise's handling of the situation made it look like a cold, calculated dismissal. Critics pointed out that the team didn't need less accountability, they needed more. CP3, in his usual perfectionist way, was simply enforcing standards. And the response? Public humiliation disguised as management decisions. Leaked insider notes. Remember, these are alleged, suggest conversations behind closed doors had escalated. Comments about negative energy and holding the team back were floating around, yet CP3's intentions were pure: guide, teach, and push teammates to perform. But in the Clippers' new narrative, the messenger became the problem. The veteran leader, celebrated for decades, was suddenly the villain in his own farewell story. And the timing? Impeccably cruel. Social media erupted as CP3 posted his own version of events, leaving fans stunned, confused, and frankly furious. No goodbye, no respect, no explanation, he wrote, and the NBA world collectively cringed. The narrative was no longer about a legendary player coming home, it was about a franchise losing its moral compass in real time. By now, whispers are everywhere. Former players wondering how the league allows this, executives questioning the culture at the Clippers, and journalists scrambling for any nugget of truth. And through it all, CP3 remains a picture of professionalism, refusing to let chaos define him, even as the world watches the unraveling of what was supposed to be his final chapter. The stage is set, the drama is building, and the fallout? Oh, it's coming. And it's going to be spectacular. The aftermath of this stunning move has sent shockwaves far beyond the Clippers' locker room. Chris Paul, a man whose name alone commands respect across the NBA, now finds himself in a surreal limbo. He's under contract, yet teamless, his final season turned upside down by decisions that seem straight out of a soap opera. Analysts, insiders, and fans alike are scrambling to make sense of the situation. How do you sideline a legend in his farewell year, not because of injury or skill, but because leadership itself apparently threatens a fragile roster? The public reaction has been explosive. Social media is a storm of outrage and disbelief. Memes mocking the Clippers' organizational chaos flood feeds. Commentators dissect every leaked report, every whispered conversation. Anonymous sources claim there are talks of front office resignations, potential internal probes, and even reconsideration of Ty Lue's role. The narrative paints a picture of a franchise so entangled in its own dysfunction that it threw out its most reliable figure just to maintain a fragile sense of control. Meanwhile, the league itself seems to be holding its breath. Former players have weighed in, praising CP3's career, leadership, and professionalism, questioning how any team could treat a legend this way. He's one of the last true point guards at that size, at that level, one former star said. And you're going to let him leave in silence? That's criminal. Across podcasts, sports shows, and fan forums, one sentiment dominates: the Clippers didn't just mishandle a situation, they botched a narrative they themselves built for months. On the financial and strategic front, the ripple effects are already visible. The Clippers are fumbling through a disastrous start to the season, missing out on key trades, and struggling to justify their roster moves to a skeptical public. Meanwhile, CP3's future hangs in uncertainty. Can he be traded? When? To where? Fans and pundits are left guessing, and the league's calendar now ticks ominously, a countdown to resolutions that may never come in the way anyone hoped. Yet through all this chaos, one thing remains undeniable: Chris Paul's legacy is untouchable. No tweet, no snub, number 3 AM phone call can erase the decades of brilliance he's brought to the game. But what this situation exposes is a cautionary tale about leadership, respect, and the fragility of organizational culture. One misstep, Or in this case, one cold, calculated move can turn years of preparation, celebration, and fanfare into confusion and outrage overnight. The Clippers marketed a fairy tale homecoming, yet delivered a cautionary horror story. The fans, once excited for the finale of a Hall of Fame career, are left scratching their heads. The league, once ready to celebrate a legend's farewell, is now forced to navigate a minefield of controversy, criticism, and potential fallout. And CP3, he remains the calm at the center of the storm, a professional betrayed by circumstance, yet untarnished in skill, reputation, and heart. The question now hangs in the air, heavy and unrelenting. How does a franchise recover from this? How do you repair respect when it was thrown aside in the middle of the night? And more importantly, how does a legend get the farewell he deserves when the very organization tasked with honoring him seems to have forgotten the meaning of respect? One thing is certain, this story isn't over, and the ripples will be felt for years to come. So, what do you think? Was this a case of a coach finally taking control, or a franchise completely losing its mind? Chris Paul, one of the most respected point guards in NBA history, sent home at 3 a.m., no handshake, no explanation, no respect. How does that even happen in professional sports? And yet, it did. The optics alone are enough to make any basketball fan gasp. You can't just market a farewell tour and then treat the legend like yesterday's news. That's not leadership, that's chaos in a suit. And let's be honest, we've seen this before, right? Teams mismanage stars, organizations crumble under their own miscommunication, and fans are left picking up the pieces. But this takes the cake. CP3 didn't just bring skill to the court, he brought accountability, intensity, and leadership. And what did he get in return? A cold dismissal that left everyone wondering, who's really running the Clippers, and do they even care about the legacy they're supposed to honor? Now it's your turn to weigh in. Should Chris Paul have been treated like this? Is Ty Lue truly in the wrong, or is the front office the real culprit? Could this be a lesson in leadership, or just another chapter in the Clippers' ongoing chaos saga? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I want to hear your take. And don't hold back, this is the kind of story that sparks debate, anger, and maybe even a little laughter at the absurdity of it all. If you want more breaking truths, insider revelations, and the kind of drama that makes sports headlines feel like a thriller, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're just getting started. Trust me, the story of Chris Paul and the Clippers is far from over, and you won't want to miss the next explosive updates. So, buckle up, stay tuned, and let's see how this saga unfolds, because one thing is certain, in this league, chaos never sleeps, and neither do the stories we uncover.